Hello everybody, I'm going to be uploading this video Sunday. I have a question for you guys. Do you really feel like before you go grocery shopping that you really shop your refrigerator, freezer, and pantry? Let's get started on this topic because I feel like it's an important one. I thought that I did pretty much do all this, but I have to be honest, I've been thinking about it. I do take a glance at what's in my freezer, refrigerator, and pantry, but I don't know that I can say I totally shop them before I go. And let me tell you why. I have a pretty stocked up freezer, pantry, refrigerator, mostly the freezer and the pantry. And I notice that I do have things that maybe that have been in there a while that don't get used. So my goal over the next several months is to really look and see what I have, because I do think there's some things that have been in there a while. And let me give you a few examples of that. For example, I've got a lot of frozen vegetables. I have tater tots, things like that, that maybe have been in there a while, frozen fruit that I'm not using. And I could incorporate some of those things into meal plans. I also have a lot of canned food. Now granted, canned food's not going to go bad, but I have a lot of canned foods in there that maybe I'm not using or realizing that I have. So my goal is to really shop my pantry. I really feel, and freezer and refrigerator. I really feel like the only way that we can do that is to take some time to take everything out of there and really look. Because this is me, I don't know about you guys, but when you shop your freezer and your pantry, to really do it effectively, because things are behind other things, sometimes you just got to pull everything out to really see what you have in there. So that's, I don't know if you guys do that, but there are many times where I go and I say, oh, I already had that at home. It's not a major deal to buy another one, but this could save us quite a bit of money. So I wrote down some things of ways that we can get a better handle on our food budget. One idea that I have, and I would like to do this and then record this, I want to have a party coming up, and I've done this, it was back though a long time ago that I did this. I'm trying to remember what year it was, but it might have been in 2010, I think it was, that I did this, where I had a group of people over and we each brought things that we weren't using. It could be cake mixes, box food, canned food. Some of them were refrigerator and freezer foods. We just bought foods that we weren't using. Like one person bought a flavor of Cheerios that, you know, were brand new in a box that her kids weren't a fan of, and she brought those. Somebody else brought a bunch of jars of mayonnaise that she got for, 50 cents a piece. They're not going to stay that, that is something that is going to expire, so she brought that. And we mixed and matched and shared, and we took what we thought we could use and donated the rest to a food pantry. So that's one way of really going through, plus getting items you use. That's number one. Number two, and this is something I'm always working on, to really pay attention to what you buy. I know that sometimes I'll buy things that are just on sale or clearance, and then you're not even sure what you're going to use them for. So that's one thing that I'm really trying to be mindful of doing, is if it's something that I see that has a lot of steps on it, like it's a food, like a certain rice dish, and it has like 8 or 9 steps on it, and I'm going, oh, that looks yummy. I'm like, well, am I going to take the time to read all this and do it? Maybe not. So it's something I'm trying to be more mindful of. Number 3, I'm going to link this below, but I found a website called myfridge.com, and basically what you do is you can, let's just say you don't have tons of food in the house, but you put in all these ingredients that you do have on hand, and it brings up the recipes for what you can do for those ingredients. So if you put in that you have apples in the house, and you have oranges, and you have, I'm just making this up, Cool Whip, and, oh, you have lime jello, it's going to maybe give you a concoction of something you could make with that. So, I thought that would be a really good website to use, and so I'm going to pay attention to that. Number 4, one of the big things that I was going to mention is, let's say you do shop your pantry. You wouldn't be able to do this with refrigerator because you can't keep the items out. What you could do is take out any items that you feel like have been in there a while, different rice mixes or anything that you might have, even canned foods. take them out and put them out maybe in the counter, you know, in a little container or something, and say, this week I'm going to use those items. That way they're visible to you, and you say, you know, I'm going to use these this week. Or if you don't want to do that, make sure to write those items down on your meal plan and incorporate them in your next meal. The last but not least item is maybe buy less. And I said that about the produce, is that, you know what, buy less or share with others. That way we have less food waste. One of the best ways that we can save money is on our food budget. And I do think this, and I think maybe some of us may be guilty of this. Say if you have a $100 budget a week. Well, if you have a $100 budget a week, you probably feel like, oh, I have $100 to spend. But maybe you don't really need to spend that if we do more shopping our freezer, pantry, and refrigerator. And maybe we could not spend that complete $100 and have 20 left over to put towards debt or savings, or do something we want to, something else nice that we want to do with it. Anyway, I'd love to hear from you guys on this subject, because some of you have really tight food budgets, and I could definitely learn a lot from you guys. Do you ever feel like you could do a better job shopping your refrigerator, freezer, and pantry? I want to hear from you. Thanks, guys. Love you. Bye.